Malcolm Gladwell, renowned for blending social science with captivating storytelling, returns with Revenge of the Tipping Point, delving deeper into the hidden patterns shaping modern society. From opioid addiction and racial dynamics to the impacts of a global pandemic, Gladwell deciphers the subtle forces igniting widespread change.
In 1983, Los Angeles witnessed a startling crime spree. The Yankee Bandit robbed 6 banks in 4 hours, signaling a resurgence of bank robberies. By the early 1990s, the city averaged one heist every 45 minutes on banking days, becoming America's bank robbery capital. Central to this epidemic were Casper and Sea Dog, who turned random crimes into an organized enterprise, orchestrating 175 robberies over 4 years. Why do certain behaviors spread rapidly in some communities while leaving others untouched? Researchers refer to this as small area variation, where environmental factors cause behaviors to flourish locally. In Vermont, inexplicable differences in medical treatments emerged between neighboring towns. This pattern resurfaced in Miami, where Philip S. Forms orchestrated a massive Medicare fraud. The city's transformation in 1980, fueled by the cocaine trade, compromised institutions, and the chaos of the Mariel boat lift, made it fertile ground for corruption.
Similarly, Poplar Grove, an idyllic community with excellent schools and amenities, faced a youth suicide epidemic far exceeding national averages. Its relentless pursuit of excellence and conformity created immense pressure, lacking the diversity needed for resilience. Like cheetahs vulnerable to disease due to genetic uniformity, Poplar Grove's social monoculture made it susceptible to crisis. These stories reveal that behaviors, whether criminal or tragic, spread through patterns shaped by our environment. Our actions ripple through communities, influenced by local conditions. The question is not just why epidemics occur, but what makes some communities resilient while others succumb. The answer may lie in embracing diversity, allowing communities to bend without breaking. Ultimately, the strength of a community lies not in uniformity, but in its ability to adapt and recognize the humanity in every individual story.
In Palo Alto's Lawrence Tract, a social experiment aimed to engineer racial harmony by ensuring no racial group exceeded 1/3 of the population, the magic third. When a Black family sought to purchase a home that would upset this balance, the community faced a dilemma. Leaving the lot empty for a decade exposed the paradox of social engineering. In trying to prevent discrimination, they inadvertently perpetuated it. At Harvard University, similar strategies are employed. The women's rugby team, with a carefully curated roster, represents efforts to maintain specific demographic proportions within the student body. These practices raise ethical questions about engineering diversity through numbers.
Proportions can also mean life or death. In February 2020, at Boston's Marriott Long Wharf Hotel, a Biogen corporate retreat became a COVID-19 super-spreading event. Mr. Index, a superspreader with biological traits making him highly infectious, was central to the outbreak. Scientists discovered that super emitters release significantly more aerosol particles, causing disproportionate transmission. Whether in communities, institutions, or disease outbreaks, small variations in proportions can trigger massive changes. A critical mass, be it 1/3 of a population, a few individuals, or one superspreader, can fundamentally alter dynamics.
Attempting to control these tipping points poses ethical dilemmas. In engineering better outcomes, we must ask, at what point does social engineering compromise the humanity we're trying to protect? Perhaps communities thrive on balance rather than control. As we face future challenges, from pandemics to social inequality, understanding when not to engineer may be the most powerful strategy.
In 1983, Los Angeles, Holocaust survivors like Fred Diaman and Siegfried Halbreich struggled to make America understand the unthinkable. Facing a country reluctant to hear their stories, they established the Martyrs Memorial Museum, America's first Holocaust museum. For years, it remained a solitary beacon of remembrance. A turning point came in 1978 when NBC aired Holocaust, a miniseries that brought the genocide into American homes. Over 4 nights, 120 million viewers witnessed the atrocities, breaking a wall of silence. The term Holocaust entered the collective vocabulary, and museums appeared across the nation. This transformation shows that social change often comes from storytelling. Decades later, Will and Grace, a sitcom featuring a gay main character, shifted perceptions of homosexuality in America. While activists fought in courts and legislatures, the show normalized gay characters, changing hearts and minds in living rooms nationwide.
These narratives, what scholars call overstories, are the invisible architects of our social world, shaping beliefs and possibilities. A television show can achieve what protests cannot. A miniseries can break decades of silence. By sharing stories, individuals ensure that history's darkest chapters are not forgotten. Across decades, societies transform not through confrontation, but through narratives that reshape perceptions. From Holocaust survivors preserving memories to gay rights advocates challenging norms, those who changed America's heart did so by changing its stories. The power of narrative lies in making the invisible visible, transforming the unthinkable into the self-evident. Storytelling bridges gaps between silence and understanding, prejudice and acceptance. In the battle for social change, the most powerful tool may be the most compelling story. Through narratives, we learn about the past, understand the present, and envision the future we can create, one story at a time.
In 1939, California bureaucrat Paul Madden introduced the triplicate prescription pad for opioids, 1 copy for the doctor, 1 for the pharmacy, and 1 for the government. This policy created an invisible shield against future opioid abuse. Decades later, Purdue Pharma launched OxyContin, marketing it aggressively in states without Madden's triplicate system. They targeted supercore prescribers, doctors willing to write large numbers of prescriptions. In protected states, opioid use remained controlled. Elsewhere, doctors like Michael Rhodes became super spreaders of the epidemic, with prescriptions skyrocketing. While other high-income nations have little to no opioid epidemic, the U.S. faces a devastating crisis. The difference lies in early policy choices. When Purdue reformulated OxyContin in 2010 to deter abuse, users turned to deadlier alternatives like heroin and fentanyl.
This story illustrates how policies create narratives guiding behavior across generations. A small group of influential individuals can become super spreaders of both solutions and problems. Madden's simple prescription pad proved more powerful than Purdue Pharma's marketing millions. The lesson is clear. Epidemics are shaped by the rules we create, the stories we tell, and the choices we make.